Hey everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of this weekend's Weekend Roundup, where we take a look at all the mods newly released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of December 16th through December 20th, 2019. As I mentioned earlier in part 1, this is going to be our final Weekend Roundup video ever. So it has been quite a run, doing approximately 52 Weekend Roundup weekly videos in this playlist. Of course, there's been some weeks where we've done multiple weekend roundup videos to just cut down on the overall length of each particular video. But it is coming to an end because, well, I would like to bring some other content into the channel, and, well, something has to go. And these weekend roundup videos take a rather long time to put together. So without further ado, let's take a look at the placeables and the 4 geo mods that were released this week in the Giants Mod Hub. So first up, we have the round Bale storages mod. Now, this mod has a requirement to use the global company mod. So if you download this mod, be sure to also get the global company mod. And we have a round hay bale storage, straw bale storage, and silage storage. $9,000 a piece, $10 $10 per day. Go ahead and take a look at these. Rotate them on their center. They have a trigger in the front and the rear. That was our hay bale storage. Our straw storage. And then our silage storage. Are prevented from putting them overly close to each other. Dry grass out. Dry grass bale in. Straw bale in, straw bale out. And silage bale in, silage bale out. Take a look here at the global company menu. Pretty standard, we have silage bales in. Ready to outsource. Then we can specify how many bales, and we basically then make them spawn. So what I want to see with this is, because we ran into this issue with the silage round. We ran into this with a global company storage mod a few weeks back, where it was a wool storage, and I put a bunch of bales in, and it took quite a long time to be able to put those out. I just want to see how long it takes to do that. So let's just drop in a bunch of bales. Go in here. Got 24,000 liters of bales stored, but none of them are ready to outsource yet. Do this for our straw too. Round straw bales. Make it rain straw bales. We have 72,000 liters stored. Can't output any yet. Like, we can now output these because we have them visually showing up. Come over here, we can do maximum on 6. It says pallets, it probably means bales. On 2, 3. There, we've spawned 3. 3 are missing from the building. And now 3 are over here for us to pick up. Still waiting on our straw bales to process. So that is kind of the big thing with these global company storage buildings, or storage mods in general. There they are. Is they kind of hold your stuff. Let's say they kind of hold your stuff ransom for a period of time, because you can't get it out immediately. Put in some round straw. Round hay. $48,000 round hay bales. Yeah, we kind of have to wait a period of time for them to process out. Maximum, spawn out 18. Go. There you go. That is the Round Bale Storages mod by Farmer Boys Modding. And it requires the Global Company mod. And it is available for PC only. Next up, we have the BillBoard mod by Farmer Boys Modding and Maverick74. Mod is available for all platforms. And then under decoration, $1,500 to buy. Rotated here on its center. Have signage on both sides. Porsche, Fendt, Kloss, and Case. John Deere, Joskins, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland. So it doesn't look like it gives us any sort of money. It's just visual, just something you can put down to maybe decorate up a shop area on some land that you own that maybe doesn't have enough decoration. That is the BillBoard mod, and by Farmer Boys Modding and Maverick74, and it is available for all platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Russian grain silos by Edge Gaming and Castiga. Here under silos, we have there they are, the new universal silo and the old universal silo. Pretty big structure, and interesting enough, it seems to rotate on its output pipe. Not really centered in any way. Kind of an interesting deal there. $200,000 to buy. Both have an upkeep of around $40 a day, and the old one stores 350,000 liters, whereas the new one holds a little bit more, 400,000 liters of product. Let's just see, what does this thing output? Got a trailer over here. And back up to this. Back up to this liquid trailer too. I see pallets shown here. A little curious if it's also going to let us fill liquid from the silo. We have wheat, barley, oats, canola, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, sugar cane. So, standard grains. Nothing as far as the liquid goes. And of course you've got your dump over here. And then your fill pipe where we demonstrated. And that is the Russian grain silos pack by Edge Gaming and Castiga, and it is available for all platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the chicken coop mod by Amiso 0397 here under the animal pins. Standard chicken coop, 100 chickens, $20,000. Large coop, $40,000, 400 chickens. We have the two chicken coop mods. $65,000 for a 500 chicken coop, $40 per day. Rotates on its center. This. Activate that up there, so hopefully we can these down a little closer to each other. There. Have the larger chicken coop, and this one kind of has a fence on it. Larger coop holds 500 chickens. They both hold 500 chickens. Have our grain dump. Have our chicken purchase area. We won a lonely chicken. We have our egg drop. And then we have our chickens. I really like this mod. I like it looks kind of like the typical chicken house. It's not 100% accurate to what we see kind of here in Virginia as far as a chicken house, but it would pass. It would pass for a good representation. Sure. Then we have the larger one, which kind of has a little bit of an outside fence. Then food trough, chicken purchase trigger, egg trigger, and it includes a bit of a asphalt, and then a fence. Opens and closes. There you go. That is the chicken coop mod by Camiso. M-I-L-O-S. Yeah. 0397, and it is available for all platforms. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Christmas pack. Under decoration, we have the $1,000 Christmas tree. Put that in over here. Rotates on its center. And what? Why do I not have a tree? Okay. So, mod is by the Azik Friends and Agar Modding. Well, for all platforms, but I don't have a... I don't understand it. Well, at any rate, don't know. So in the mod hub, it shows the tree there, but it shows it on Felsburn. I'm wondering if this might only work on Felsburn. Let me know in the comments. Have you gotten your Christmas tree to work? Magical tree that needs to be activated. All right. Move on. Next up, we have a Storages pack by Karis. It is available for all platforms. Go ahead and take a look here under Sheds. We have 12-meter wide warehouse, and 12-meter wide warehouse. Different sizes. We have 12 by 30, 12 by 25, and 12 by 20. Probably more or less the other way around. $25,000. Smaller warehouse. Depends on its center. Like this one has maybe one door. We have a slightly larger warehouse. Just to have a side door and a front door. And then a 30-meter warehouse. Again with a side door and a front door. Over here we have to hit the little switch. Lights. We have lights. Kind of a nice building. Like that we kind of have a beat up looking metal building. Really nice. I like this. I like this a lot. Another door there. Or control for a door. 25-foot one, 25-meter one. Has two doors, a side door and a front door. I like how the I-beams are banged up here a little bit at the door. Maybe they've been hit a little bit as things come and go. And then we have the larger one, 30-meter length. It also has just two doors, one on the end and one on the side. Also has our lights. This is a pretty cool building. I like it a lot. Again, this building is by Caris and is available for all platforms. Next up, we have a Small Shelters by Rick Black Label EWD modding. It is available for all platforms. Also, here's the small shelter, $5,600 to buy. Rotates kind of on its center, a little bit maybe forward of its center. Another nice looking building. Wooden structure, concrete pad. No lights. Real simple building for a small area. Looking to store some stuff. And this mod, basically all of the placeable mods that we've looked at so far, other than the billboard sign and the Christmas tree, all list as being compatible with seasons. Storage buildings there don't list it. And we'd have to fire up seasons and make it snow to see if that was indeed the case or not. I would hope that that building would be compatible with seasons. Now we have another building by Caris called Grain Storage. It is also available for all platforms. Down here, the $30,000 grain storage building. Rotates on the center of the building. Put it down. Nice deco. Collisions here. See that there are collisions on the walls, so we can tip grain into here should we so wish. Pretty cool building, kind of a combination block and timber with maybe some block and concrete, I guess. Little low res on the textures of the building compared to the other buildings that we've seen so far today, but still really nice looking building all the same. And this mod is by Caris and is available for all platforms. Up we have the Garage by Daniel X321 and Onsi EV. It is also available for all platforms. Garage, $15,000. Rotates on its center quite well. And we basically have what looks like a kind of a rundown old concrete, maybe concrete and stucco style building. Pressing delay on that on that door. So a little short on the door here. Can't get out of the door. I mean, I'm not like, you know, an extra tall player or anything. Can't exit the door. Be nice if I could get out of the door. No lights on here. A little low on the roof, so you're not going to be bringing in a really big stuff. But still, this would work pretty good for small equipment on a maybe an older style map. So I'm playing with older style equipment. If I can go in the door. Nope, can't even go in the door. It'd be nice to be able to use the door. Mod is by Daniel X321 and Consi TV. Again, it is available for all platforms. Up, we have another animal pen. We've got the Dairybarn. $350,000. 500 cows. And this thing is massive. I'm going to have to clear out some space to put this thing down. Go ahead and sell off some of these buildings. Oh. If I would read, I would see I can't sell that because I have chickens in it. That should work. Given the size of this, it's going to be kind of hard to place. So it rotates on its end. Really strange how that thing rotates. So let's go ahead and place it right here. Go. This is a massive structure indeed. So it's kind of a tractor so we can kind of look around it. We've got our manure point there. We change our ground texture. Interesting, we've kind of... Most of the building has a concrete texture, but over here, missing a bit of that concrete changed texture. I don't know why it would do that. This whole area has been pre-flattened. Not like it's because it's not flat. I have an office area up there. A bit of a grass texture here. Let's look around this thing. Of course, we've got our slurry bit there. We have our manure pile up there. And right in between the two, we have our water trough. I know that this is our water trigger. It is because we activated the animal pen extension mod just to see if any of these mods incorporated the animal pen extension into it. The fact that this is placed in the middle of the water trough tells me that it is not pre-implemented, but we are free to implement it however we want. Want to basically put the valve over here and hide this spout in the building here. Got this little thing, and that's for water. And there we go. Now we can just activate the spout to water our cows. Like we have a trigger all the way on the other side here. This is probably going to be our food trough. A little bit of food there where the food level is going to raise up. And our straw trigger should be maybe inside this whole area. I have a guess based on what I'm seeing here. I have the triggers activated. Coming in here to our carousel milking parlor. Lights on in here. Insulated milk storage. We have our milk trigger. Yeah, now we can kind of come in here to the office area. This is kind of neat. Definitely not your traditional animal placeable. Come up here to the lounge area. Corporate offices. Pretty cool. Pretty cool little mod. A big mod. What I don't know is where do we deliver our cows to? See if we can figure out where that happens. This is probably the straw trigger. Oh. And here's our cow delivery. And it looks like these are one of those pens where basically the cows never leave the building. Kind of are destined to live out their life forever inside this structure. This mod is by Mo Teckenbauer. Yeah, you see it down in the lower third, and it is available for all platforms. Next up, we have the small wood selling station. This is going to be a placeable selling station. You haven't seen that for wood. Small wood selling station, $5,000 to buy. And just place it down here at the corner. If you're on a map that just doesn't have a log selling point, maybe you want something that is a little bit more convenient for you, well, here you go. What we're going to do is we're just going to spawn in some logs. There's 4 logs, and let's go ahead and sell them off. Here you go, $10,000. Easy money. Can't beat it. Look how this is all junk wood. Long firewood cut up there. Pretty cool building. This is by Top Ace 888, and it is available for all platforms. Small wood chip selling station 2. Not see that? Nope, there it is. Small wood chip selling station. The wood chips or logs. Really cool concept. Something we haven't really seen to date is placeable log and wood chip selling stations. There you go. Next up, we have the liquid fertilizer tank. Miscellaneous, we have 2. These are actually 2 different mods by the same mod author, Nick Sarko. They are both available for all platforms. Up here, spin on their center. Face them out a little bit. And one of them, the liquid fertilizer tank, lists a required mod, whereas the herbicide tank does not list a required mod. It lists a recommended mod. And both the required and recommended mod for both mods is the same one. It is this liquid tank, the MP9 FMSZ2K. Get that turned around there. Mod is available for all platforms. And basically what this is, it is a buying station for liquid fertilizer. And then we have a liquid fertilizer silo. Herbicide tank, fertilizer tank. Then under silos, we have a liquid fertilizer fillable and a herbicide tank fillable. So let's do that. Let's put those are the sell points. That's where we buy our product. And this is where we store our product. Over here and buy fertilizer. Good enough. And we'll come over here and we will now overload into this. If we want to, we can fill from it. I really like this tank. Storage tank. Really cool concept of being able to buy it or sell it. Not buy it or sell it, but buy it or store it. What would be really, really, really cool is if this gauge actually worked. We obviously don't have near enough product in there to know. Really cool if the gauge actually did work. There you go, guys. That is the liquid fertilizer and liquid herbicide buy points and storage points. And that is available for all platforms. Next up, we have the Placeable Farm Silo by RAULY Christie 1. Is available for all platforms. Go to silos. You have the large grain silo, $95,000 to buy, holds 550,000 liters, and it kind of rotates kind of between the third and fourth silo there. Kind of a weird rotation. Fill pipe and our dump pipe. Go over here and get our trailer. And then we'll see what this thing holds. Those Christmas trees still get me. I don't really know what the deal is with those. We hold wheat, barley, oat, canola, sunflower, soybeans, corn. Now this has 582,000 liters, but the Mod Hub posting says 550,000 liters. Not really sure what the deal is with that discrepancy. So last up, we're going to take a look at one more placeable before we reset and talk about the 4 GEOs that got released this week. We have the wood Cow Husbandry building, and it holds 45 cows, is $36,400. That's just for size comparison. Have fun and put it right next to the other building. This one, though, rotates just in one of 4 different angles. Here we have the cow area. Buyer cows. Only holds 45. We have our slurry point. We have our food trough. We have our water trough, water trigger right there. The actual trough is on the inside. So again, we could use this and reposition everything. Again, I activate this so we can see if mod author has incorporated this into their mod or not. And I want to check. I just check. Both cow pens do output manure, slurry, and milk. Although one with black cows does not have a cleanliness indicator. That would be this one here, does not have a cleanliness indicator. Check for the straw trigger. Straw trigger is also outside here. I guess this is going to be the milk trigger. There's no real visual indication that that is going to provide us milk or not. There you go. That is what I'm going to call it. Nice little building for someone that's looking to keep a small number of cows on their maybe custom built farm. All right, guys, so that was the last placeable. As I said, we're going to reset here. We're going to bring out the video editor, and we're going to do a little bit of a study on the 4 seasons GEOs that got released this week. We're going to be talking about the planting and harvesting schedules. And we're going to talk really kind of about the East Coast GEO and the Ohio GEO. Not really going to talk too much about the planting and harvesting schedules because they are just, I don't know. I don't know where they came from. I don't know what they're based on. My experience living in the area, they don't seem to line up at all with real life. At any rate, we're going to take a look at those here in a little bit. And we are moving into our seasons GEO comparison sections. And the first GEO we're going to take a look at tonight is the seasons GEO for south of Quebec. This is by Team GEO France. And this is kind of an interesting GEO. If you look real close there in the bottom right, you'll see that the background is snowy. So when I first loaded this up in early spring, I got a layer of snow down there. Now the temperatures weren't too terrible cold. In fact, I think they were in the mid 30s, but it did start out with a layer of snow. And if you take a look and compare the Seasons GEO at the top, which is the standard Seasons GEO, to the south of Quebec GEO, which is in the lower right, you're going to see that we have kind of a shorter growing season for wheat, barley, and oats. We can't really plant those crops until mid-spring, and we need to be done by the end of late spring. But we have an interesting harvest. We can harvest as early summer compared to the standard GEO, all the way through to the end of autumn. We also have a kind of a narrow window to plant our wheat, barley, and oats in autumn. We can do that in early autumn and mid-autumn. This GEO does not support cotton or sugarcane. It just does not get warm enough in the south of Quebec to do that. We have basically a similar planting and harvesting schedule in canola compared to our other wheat, barley, and oat crops. But sunflowers, look at that. It is razor thin. We can harvest our sunflowers in early autumn only, and we can plant our sunflowers in late spring only. So let's hope that if we're going to be a sunflower farmer, we have the right weather to do so. Soybeans and corn, we've got a pretty nice long planting schedule from the start of late spring all the way through the end of midsummer to do both of those crops. We have a decent harvest schedule for soybeans of the entire autumn and early winter. And then for corn, we have from mid-autumn to the end of early winter. We have a fairly shortened potatoes and sugar beet schedule also with respect to harvest and plant. And there you go, guys. That is pretty much the south of Quebec GEO. And let's take a look at the Crater Bay GEO. This is almost the complete opposite of the standard seasons GEO and the GEO we just took a look at, the south of Quebec GEO. For wheat, barley, oats, and canola, we are going to be harvesting in spring and summer, and then planting in autumn and winter. And then for our cotton, sunflower, soybean, corn, potatoes, sugar beet, and sugarcane, we're going to be planting in spring and summer and harvesting in autumn and winter. So it's kind of the tale of two complete opposites. You're going to be potentially harvesting all year round and potentially planting for most of the year, depending on how you want to do your crops. So this is kind of an interesting take on a season's geo. This is the the northern coast of Madagascar is what this geo is based upon. And early spring, I had some really, really hot temps. I had like 90-degree air temp and 89-degree ground temp in the first day of spring. So let's take a closer look. So wheat, barley, and oats and canola. We are basically harvesting that in spring and summer. We've got a very, very narrow planting window of barley. Not really sure what's up with that, if that is how it's supposed to be. Typically, barley is going to mirror wheat for the most part. We've got a little bit longer planting schedule for oats, but still fairly narrow in only late autumn and early winter to plant our oats. Canola we have from the middle of autumn to the end of early winter. But take a look at cotton. We can be planting cotton in mid-spring through the end of midsummer, and then harvesting our cotton in late autumn through the end of mid-winter. If we look at sunflowers and soybeans, we're talking the same thing. We have the start of mid-spring to the end of early summer to plant, and then we're harvesting that at the start of mid-autumn through the end of early winter. We've got corn, a very long planting schedule for corn from the start of spring till the end of mid-summer, and a kind of comparatively long harvest schedule from the start of autumn till the end of mid-winter. So pretty much the only time we're not working in corn is going to be late summer and late winter. Potatoes, pretty narrow window there. 2 seasonal transitions to plant and 2 seasonal transitions to harvest our crops. So guys, if you want to do cotton, you want to do sugarcane, you might want to think about the Crater Bay Geo. Now we move on to our third geo of the day, the USA Eastern Geo by A-Dub Modding, and I'm not really sure what to say about this one, other than it's got problems. It's got a lot of problems, and I really cannot suggest anyone use this geo at this point in time. I really hope that he's going to be updating this. Maybe I don't know how this got messed up, but this is pretty bad. From looking through the forums, apparently this is to mirror Delaware, kind of a northern area of the East Coast. So, yeah, I'm still not sure what's going on here. You're going to notice all of the ground temps for the first day of spring are all white. And the warmest ground temp you can see there is 72 degrees Fahrenheit for poplar. Well, that is because I had 89-degree ground temp, and I had something, the air temp was something in the 30s. So I don't know how I have 50-degree difference between ground temp and air temp on the first day of spring. That was pretty shocking. And I can tell you that I have seen nobody on the East Coast. I've lived on the East Coast for 40 plus years. I've never seen anyone plant soybeans or corn in the middle of winter, literally the middle of winter. So yeah, this is kind of completely messed up. So traditionally, the first part of early spring for seasons is the equivalent of March. So spring is March, April, and May. Summer is June, July, and August. August is September, October, and November. And that means early winter is December. Midwinter is January, and late winter is February. So this geo has you basically planting any crop you want in January. And that's not going to be happening. That ground is going to be frozen, There's going to be snow on the ground. It's going to be sloppy, muddy. If it isn't frozen, it's going to be awful. So, yeah, in my opinion, the East Coast is pretty similar to the standard seasons geo as far as planting and harvesting. Maybe the autumn planting is pushed back a little bit, but the ground temps are going to be a lot warmer than the standard seasons geo as far as summer and autumn goes. The air temperature is going to be a lot warmer. The Midwestern geo kind of works, although I think the ground temps and the air temps need to be a bit hotter than the Midwest geo. But what we've got here, the USA Eastern Geo, yeah, no, don't use it. Seriously. Not sure what's going on with it. So the last geo we're going to take a look at here today is the U.S.A. Ohio Geo, again by A-Dub Modding. And again, I can't suggest using this one either. This one is just not right either. I mean, Ohio is kind of on the same latitude range as Delaware, just a little bit further inland as opposed to being coastal. But seriously, we've got, I don't know what's going on. I mean, people plant wheat, barley, and oats in the spring in Ohio. But this geo basically has the planting from the late summer all the way through mid-winter. Again, we're talking about August through January planting of wheat, barley, and oats in Ohio, where we're going to have frozen ground. We're going to have muddy, sloppy weather if it's not frozen because it's going through a freeze thaw cycle. We might have 2 feet of snow on the ground in January, and we're planting our crops. We're definitely not doing that. We've got soybeans. We can only plant our soybeans in the middle of summer or the middle of winter. And there's no way if we plant our soybeans in the middle of winter, they're going to survive through all of the year and basically be ready to harvest again in early autumn. Again, I cannot suggest using this geo. If you want to do a geo that's kind of like Ohio, then pick the Midwest geo. Yeah, so that's where we're going to end it today. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is going to be the last weekend roundup that we do. So we did this for the entire year of 2019. And I have to say, early on, it wasn't that bad because there weren't that many mods being released on any given week. But for the last couple months, it has been quite a bear. Taking anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7 hours to put these videos together, get them all edited and uploaded for you guys. So we're just going to have to say goodbye to the weekend roundups. And instead of that, we're going to say hello to a lot more content, a lot more diverse content into the channel because we can focus on that now. So until next time, happy farming.